Hi guys, Luton here and welcome back to another Steam sale video. So these come up periodically for the channel and I always try to recommend things that I think are going to be interesting for you, not too obvious. If I don't include something, it's because I either thought the discount wasn't good enough or I just didn't know about it, or it's something that I figure is too commonly recommended already, because I'm trying to recommend things which may be outside some people's sphere of purchasing, but of course there's going to be some plenty of common games in here as well that you might already own. Whenever I do these, I try to provide also a US value for you guys, and this is usually an estimation, so the prices might be different, so of course check that out for yourself. Okay, first up, Abzu. Now, Abzu it's a beautiful narrative journey. Reminds me very much, obviously, of Journey because it's from the same developer who made Journey. It's 50% off. That's £7.49 or about $10. Like I said, many people on the stream have watched this when I played it the other day and thought it was an amazing game, really beautiful. So I recommend this very highly, and it's a good one to just chill with. Okay, next up, Alien Isolation. Can't believe this game came out, I think, in 2014 now. Still stands up. It's a really excellent game. So much detail in this game. They really went into the kind of retro lo-fi mechanics that you have with the original Alien movie, and this really is a kind of monument to that kind of stylization. It's a really, really excellent game, and like I say, not just that, but the AI of the alien and everything that's in the game. I recommend probably going for the collection with this one because it's, you know, it's only a little small price increase to get all the DLC with it, so that's £8.74, about $11. A very worthwhile game, a terrifying game as well. Probably want to play this through again actually, because I just really enjoyed it first time around despite it being absolutely terrifying. Okay, Big Pharma, great indie game. Big Pharma, where you basically are a pharmaceutical company and you have to bring in different drugs, make different medicines, etc. And there's a really excellent process. You're basically running a factory and you have to process the raw materials to produce different drugs, and you can basically get different effectiveness to get different price increases. It's a really fun game. It's 70% off, £5.69, $7, very much worth a look. Company of Heroes 2. Now, something I've actually wanted to play a lot recently, actually. I really want to make some time to play Company of Heroes 2, because this game is still really good. It's still such a strong game for a game which has been out for many years now. So a very, very worthwhile game to look at. Obviously, World War II RTS, 65% off it, and at £27, that's going to save you roughly £77 for all of the DLC and everything there. That's about $35, saving you about $100 there. So if you want to just go all in on this really excellent RTS, you can still get multiplayer games online, got all the campaigns to play through, highly recommend. Okay, now City Skylines. Now, City Skylines is a game which has been out for quite some time now, and because of that, it has an amazing, huge catalogue of DLC and mods and all of this stuff. Now, you can get the base game for 75% off at £5.74, that's about $7. Now, the game is really good, as is. However, those base DLC expand the game quite considerably. So I would say that if you, for example, purchase just the base game and you enjoy it, it's worth while the sale is on than going in and purchasing those DLC. And I wouldn't waste too much time because, like I say, you want to buy the rest of the bundle, which is all 50% off the rest of the DLC. So if you were to buy the whole lot, it's going to come in at about £45. That's probably about $58. Now, if you do decide to pick up the game and you want some mod suggestions, I have an extensive collection of mods and assets in my Steam workshop, and the link is in the notes along with the others. These are obviously other people's, nothing that I've made, but they are collections of the mods and assets to make it more easy for you guys to find things that work and things which are going to basically help you. I have some basically essential mod lists, which are kind of like the things that I consider to be essential to fundamentally improve your game, so check that out if you pick up the game. Dawn of War series 1, 2, 3 and all the DLC, all 75% off. The price is going to range for these games about £2.50 up to £7.50 or $3 to $9.50. I'd check out these games with the packages as well, which range in price from $10 to about $25. Contains loads of DLC. RTS Warhammer 40k Classic, check it out. Also, just a word on Warhammer 40k stuff. I've been recommending Space Marine a lot recently. It was free the other day, then it was on Humble as well. So I'm not going to recommend it, but Space Marine, it's always on discount. You know, if you really enjoy 40k, it's probably, I think, one of the best Warhammer 40k games out there. So put it on your wish list or just keep an eye on it if you don't want to get it now, but it's very much worthwhile. Basically, everybody should own Space Marine. It's just a really excellent game. Now, Dirt Rally. Now, I've recommended this almost every single time because Dirt Rally is, in my opinion, one of the best rally games that is out there. Dirt Rally is 80% off, £5, that's $6. Now, Dirt Rally, it is going to have a second version coming up in 2019, so Dirt Rally 2. Now, this is exciting because it's not the same as the other Dirt Rally series, because this Dirt Rally, it's a lot more hardcore, I would say. You know, the graphics and just the brutality of the game in terms of driving, it's much more serious. It's a really visceral experience, and it's something something that I think, you know, if you like car games at all and have never tried, you should check it out. And if you ask anybody that likes these kind of games, they'll tell you Dirt Rally is a really good game. Okay, one which you probably don't expect from me, Disgaea PC and Disgaea 2, 60% off both, so £4, £6 respectively, let's say about $5, $7. I'm still waiting for NAS to port Disgaea Afternoon of Darkness to PC, but in the meanwhile, these are classic SRPGs, that's strategy RPGs, so think of Final Fantasy Tactics, which I also would like to be on Steam, but I've got it on my iPad now, which is good enough. So Disgaea, what is it? Without really going into all the story and everything, it's a bonkers SRPG, characters are really funny, the writing is actually pretty excellent, it's a hilarious game actually, the characters and everything in it are very, very funny. It's just a great game. It's a bit more of a niche kind of like Japanese SRPG game and that kind of thing. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but it is a good fun game. There is some strategy in it. You know, it's a very grindy game because these games are like that anyway, but it's good fun for burning many, many hours. I'd give it a look. And if you've never really seen this kind of game before, you don't really know what it's about, I would say just watch some videos on YouTube, look up Disgaea, you'll get the idea. Okay, the Doom original games. Now, why would you be interested in getting the Doom original games? Well, for one thing, because they're ridiculously cheap at about £1 or $1.30, $1.50, whatever. They're very, very cheap. They're obviously classics and they're good enough in their own right. But if you get these games, if you didn't have them already, you can then also use the Brutal Doom mod. And the Brutal Doom mod is absolutely fantastic. I can't praise the Brutal Doom mod enough. It is absolutely spectacular, and I've put a link for that down below. So if you want some absolute unrepentant brutality and slaughtering, then I would recommend getting these, and also I would recommend that when you're playing them, you run the most recent Doom soundtrack in the background, because it makes your experience 100 times better. Okay, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice came out last year. This is the cheapest that I have seen this game so far. 50% off, £12.50, that's about $16. Like I say, this game was not at all discounted at first, and I've not really seen it cheaper than this so far, cheaper than 50%. Very recommend this game. I would say it's one of these games though that's maybe you're not going to play it through that many times, but it is a very nice experience. It's worth the experience is what I would say. And also, it's not the most mechanically complicated or challenging game, but just in terms of the narrative and the atmosphere, it's a supremely immersive game. So if you're looking for an immersive narrative game, then you can't go wrong with this one. It's not a particularly long game either, but you know, still, you know, quite a couple of hours to play through there. But I would just recommend it. I think it's one of those games that everybody needs to play. Okay, next up, Metro Last Light, 66% off, that's £5, about $6, or get it bundled with 2033 Redux Metro, 75% there, total saving, about £7.64, $10, something like this. So what's Metro? It's a post-apocalyptic FPS narrative game set underground in Moscow's subway metro. So yeah, really excellent game. Obviously you've got the next one coming up in, I think, February of 2019. It's called like Metro Exodus. So maybe if you want to kind of get your eye back in, familiarise yourself with the story, or if you've never played these, very much worth a look, and then you'll be ready for the next game in 2019. Okay, next one, some very challenging puzzle narrative games. Mist, Riven and Abduction. 40%, buy all of them in the 25th anniversary collection for £34, $44 or thereabouts anyway. That's going to be 7 games in total. Individually, they're about £4 to £6 each. The best titles, in my opinion, are Real Mist Masterpiece, Riven and Mist 3. Cyan, the developer, also released another similar game, Abduction, in 2016, which I can't believe it was released in 2016. I still haven't actually got around to playing that one yet, so I can't really recommend it because I haven't played it, but I would say if you enjoy these games, then maybe it's worth a look because it is very well recommended as well. 65% off of Abduction, so that's £8.39, about $11. But in general, these games are severely challenging puzzle games. Some of the puzzles are the most difficult. Everybody knows that Mist and Riven and those games were very challenging puzzle games, alright, so just calm down. But they're very, very fun, very immersive, and like I say, the best way to play these games is full immersion, you know, lights off, headphones on, and also, when it comes to the puzzles, of course, these games have been out for many, many, many years, so if you really get stuck in a puzzle, it's not hard at all to find a solution. However, I would say resist that temptation. It's so easy these days to just go online, wiki, just find a solution to a puzzle. The best thing about Mist and Riven is really challenging yourself, trying to understand and figure out the puzzles and what is going on. So if you get these games and you never played them before, try and do a full, proper blind playthrough for yourself, okay? Don't cheat, don't go on the wikis unless you get absolutely stuck on a brick wall. You know, really try to think around the puzzles, and the best advice I can give you, eliminate all of the things which you know can't be done, you know, eliminate the obvious, eliminate the impossible solutions, and hopefully you'll be left with a logical conclusion which will enable you to do that puzzle. Okay, Observer, this is a very interesting narrative title. It's a very mind-bending game, very much Cyberpunk, very much Blade Runner style, very heavily influenced from Blade Runner. Very much recommend this game as well, 50% off. It's £11.50, it's about $15. Again, super immersive game. Headphones on, lights off, really check out this one. Okay, Oddworld, new and tasty, plus the older games. Not really changed in price in terms of savings from the previous sales, but still very worthwhile. 75% off, that's about 50p, or £3.75 for these games, that's about $1 to $5. Really classic game, Oddworld, where you're basically working as a slave in these alien factories. You have to escape. The level design and the environmental design and the universe of Oddworld is just really unique, really interesting. These are very challenging puzzle games as well. They're very interesting, good platform titles that I love, so I would check these out. Okay, Planet Coaster. Now, I made a video the other day talking about how I love Planet Coaster and what's so great about it. I'll link that one as well below in the notes if you want to check out that. If you want, basically, if you get Planet Coaster and you're about to start with the game, that's a full big tutorial video that you can check out there. However, Planet Coaster in this Steam sale, 60% off, £12, about $15, or Deluxe with all DLC, 50% off, that's £34, about $44. But Planet Coaster, actually not as much of a saving in this Steam sale, but it's been discounted for more in the past. However, that could be to do with the fact that they've just released some new DLC and a big update, so perhaps they're thinking like, oh yeah, a load of new people are going to come in, they're going to want this game again, so that's probably why. So if you wanted to wait till the winter Steam sale, maybe it would have a little bit more, but it's easily worth the money by a wide margin. Okay, Pixeljunk Shooter Ultimate. I recommend this in every Steam sale video I do because just everybody should have this game, I think. Anyway, it's just a really fun 2D your little spaceship. You're going through some caves and different things, but just the design and the imagination in this game is great. It's really fun. Some nice mechanics to do with like water, earth, lava, chemicals, etc. It's a really good one. 85% off, £1. Yeah, that's right, £1. 60 cents, $1, something like this. Anyway, it's no money. You should try this game. It's super fun. Another one I recommend every time, especially recently, because like I say, I tried this game out and it's really good, really fun game, supreme fun building with this game, Prison Architect, 75% off, £6, about $8. This one again has been discounted for more in the past, but again, not by much, about 80% off last time, so very minimal difference. Prison Architect that I rediscovered a while back because I'd taken a break from playing it and came back to it and was like, oh my god, this game is way more fun than I remember it. So Prison Architect, you are the architect of a prison. You run and manage a prison. It's a management building and design game. It's really fun though, and you can get these huge scale prisons which run very well in terms of just performance and everything, even when you've got a massive scale prison going on, and it's just an extremely fun game. You can just burn hours and hours, so very worth the money. Okay, next up, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, 50% off. That's £22.50, about $29. And I usually recommend the Tomb Raider games in the collection or whatever, and they're always worth looking at in the Steam sale. But this is the newest game, and 50% is a good saving for the newest game. I think the game had like a bit of a frosty release, I think, a bit of a mixed release. I don't really know why, because I've been playing this on the stream, and it's been really enjoyable. I don't really have a lot that's bad to say about it. I mean, it's Tomb Raider. I think my only kind of criticism, but I've had this before with Tomb Raider, is that I often feel like I wish the puzzles were harder or bigger or more complicated. I think I had one puzzle which I got stuck on for a little while in this game, but we figured it out. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I just always wish they would do a bit more with their puzzles. They're always fairly sort of straightforward, and the narrative is kind of hilarious in this game as well. I don't think the story is particularly strong with this game. That's my only criticism, mainly, I guess. I think some people complain about Lara, her actual character in the game, like her attitude, and it's kind of like, yeah, she's a bit of cold and a bit of an arsehole. She's a bit of a dick to other people in this game, but I would just say, isn't that Lara Croft? Like, I've always thought she's a bit of a dick. Like, that's kind of her character, right? Like, in the sense that she never seems to have a huge amount of concern for other people. She's like, yeah, I'm going here and I'm doing all this stuff, and oh god, the whole building, and I've destroyed a town, and oh no. That's just Lara Croft. That's what she does wherever she goes. She wreaks havoc on all people around her. Okay, Shadow Tactics Blaze of the Shogun, recommended this before, a great tactical game. This is actually also on a bigger discount than I've seen before on Steam sales, 60% off, that's £14, about $18. It's a very good, obviously medieval Japanese tactical game where you're playing as like a samurai, a ninja, etc. Really good game. Can't really over describe it too much, but essentially it's a narrative and it's a top-down tactical sort of time and skill based game. You've got to maneuver. It's not really like it's not turn based, but it's kind of a little bit because you move so stealthily that it almost becomes turn-based. So, but it's really, you need to kind of just look at some videos to understand the mechanics. It's a bit too much for me to really describe right here in a very short space of time. But what I would say, it's a very fun game, and I burned hours on this game without realizing it. So I highly recommend it. Okay, Squad. I haven't put Squad back on the Steam sale for quite some time, but Squad V12 is 40% off, which is a good saving. £18, $23. And I played Squad literally just a couple of days ago on the stream, and I had a really good time. Now, to be fair though, the time before when I played Squad, I spent 6 hours before I was able to find a competent squad leader and squad by going through multiple servers. So I would say that, as with many FPS these days, especially one which is heavily team focused and tactical focused, it can be a bit hit and miss. However, you probably have more chance of finding that kind of experience in this game than you do with others. Obviously, you've got like Postscriptum, and to be fair, public armor servers as well. You can often find that kind of experience. But I would say Squad, and especially with the updates with V12, it's a very visceral, very terrifying experience. Now, if you're interested in this at all, I'm probably going to post a video either later today or tomorrow, which will showcase for you what this game is like. So if you're not sure, well, just hold off for a day and you can check my video. Okay, some Warhammer 40k, Spaceup 2013, 80% off, again cheaper than I've seen it in the past, and this game always is discounted heavily. 80%, £3.79, that's about $5. Spaceup 2013, a translation of the tabletop game into a video game. It's a really good one though, the 2013 version. Like I say, it carries many of the mechanics over from the tabletop game, and it's very, very similar to what we've seen recently with the Space Hulk Tactics game. Space Hulk Ascension 2014, again, that's kind of like a refreshment of the 2013 Space Hulk game, and that's also 80% off, but this is £4.59, about $6. But again, it kind of expands and gives you some more content there, so I would say that's also worthwhile a look if you enjoy the Space Hulk game. And then bringing it right up to date, 9th of October, released this year, Space Hulk Tactics 25%, £26.24, about $34. Now that's a small saving, it's not a huge discount, but that game only literally just came out in the last month or so. Now I say the game's only just came out, and it's only a 25% saving, but nonetheless, you know, I've enjoyed what I played from it so far, and I think what they've done with the game in terms of bringing some different elements in, but retaining the core mechanics and how the game functions, I think is very, very good, so I would recommend this to check out as well. Now, Stalker, Call of Pripyat, so 70% off of this game, about £3 or about $4. Stalker is a classic title, and I think whilst many people know it and have played it, it's one of those which is probably missed by some people that are coming in new to PC gaming, or just maybe have never really heard about it or never really saw about it. Not sure how that's possible, but whatever. If you've never played these games, they're really amazing just as a point of reference when you're talking about other games, because they're very dark, very awesome. Maybe they are a little dated now, but if you wanted to play something that's very, very narrative, very spooky, very atmospheric, then I don't think you're going to care too much about some of the little bits and pieces which may date this. You know, so glitches, bugs, you might crash here and there, those kind of things, but whatever, you know, you can just kind of get in with it and accept it for what it is and enjoy the kind of environment. So that's Call of Pripyat, Clear Sky, and Shadow of Chernobyl, all 70% off. And to finish off, many of you guys know I love retro games, of course, because I've been gaming for about 20 years, right? But Sonic Mania, really fantastic game, and it's rare that games that get a refresh actually deliver what fans want. But the Steam reviews for Sonic Mania say it all. This game hasn't been discounted much in the past year because of how popular it's been, but now they're doing this game for 66% off. That's £5, about $6, so it's very well worth it. 12 2D side-scrolling levels, 8 of which are redesigns of classics, and it brings the experience from the classic Sonic titles but just updates them and refreshes them. I think honestly in today's gaming sphere there is a lot that could be done with just refreshing some classic titles, like we've talked about this week with Command & Conquer, which just retained the mechanics and the gameplay that worked, that just hasn't got any nonsense going on with it, not trying to be overtly clever, just good reaction times, good skill base, good simple mechanics that delivers a lot of fun to the player. So I'd recommend checking this out, especially if you've never played any of the old 2D side-scrolling games. Super fun. Now to finish, something I should do more often with the Steam sale videos is kind of like just a final quick rundown of games that you probably have, but if not, they're well worth a look. Often classics that just needs to be owned, and I'm not going to post the links for these, so if you want them, just go search for yourself. Okay, let's go. Age of Empires 2, 80% off, £3, $4. Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I said I would look at these. £2 and £2.60 respectively, or £7.49 for Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition, so about $3 to $10, amazing games. Civilization 5, because it's a classic, 75% off, £5 to $6. Again, it can be a bit cheaper maybe sometimes, but rarely. It's a very good game. Portal 1 and 2, 85% off, £2.14 for both of them. That's $3. Some of the best games ever made for that price. You really can't go wrong. And I'm really targeting some of these people that may be coming in new to just owning PC and have never played these games before. Obviously those are on console as well. Firewatch 75% off, £3.74, $5. A really great narrative game, excellent, should check it out. Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, 50% off, £7.49, $10. Another great side-scrolling game, but a modern one, really fun, excellent. 2015 it first came out. Long Dark, 75%, $6. £8, another great immersive narrative game which has just recently had a load of updates. They're still updating and still adding content to that game. So the next one is a bit of a weird one, not really a recommendation, more of a take note of if you are interested. Darkest Dungeon, a game that I actually don't own, but I think I'm buying this myself in the Steam sale because it's 70% off. I think it's probably going to be worthwhile. It does seem a really good game. It's been out for a while. I know many people that play this game and say it's really good, so it's why I wanted to check it out. It's 70% off, £5.69, $7. I think it's worth a look, and like I said, I'm probably going to pick it up myself and try it out, so maybe have a look at that. Now, something I can strongly recommend, Final Fantasy games. Now, Final Fantasy, they're usually 50% off in most sales, and this isn't any different. I recommend for you Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, and 13. All of those are really good titles. All of those will have 50% off. I would say they're probably going to range in price from like £5 to 10 to 12, £15, something along these lines. So again, probably range in price from about $6, $7 up to like 15, 20, whatever, something in that region. But very, very amazing games that you should own, check out, play. They're classics. Okay, FTO in every Steam sale video I do, Faster Than Light, one of the best games I've ever played, 75% off, £1.74, $2. I mean, for fuck's sake, like if you don't own it, buy that game. It's space strategy, it's supremely fun, you will kill many, many hours with it. Okay, Rayman Legends, another platformer. I'm a big fan of platformers. 66% off, £5.77, $7. Just a great experience, great classic platform experience. Very recommend it. Yeah, for sure, the graphics are kind of like cartoonish and childlike, I guess, a little bit. It's like that kind of thing. Rayman has always been just kind of like a classic platformer experience, and because I love that kind of game, recommend it here. Graphics are fun, it's a great package, so I would check that out. If you never played the original Dead Space, it's another one of those games which is so immersive. You know, headphones on, lights off, just throw yourself into the game. Because Dead Space, the original, the graphics stand up, the mechanics stand up, the narrative stands up. It's just an absolute great game that you cannot go wrong with. And again, another one that everybody should own. So that's my Steam Sale Autumn video, guys. As per usual, all of the links are down below in the notes, so check those out. Hope this was helpful for you. Hope you enjoy some of these games if you decide to try them out. With any of these games, if you have something you're not sure about or you have a question about the game, if you're not sure whether you'll like it, drop a comment down below, ask me a question. I will read it. I will try to respond to you. And as per usual, if you have your own thoughts, your own recommendations, put those down in the comments below for other people to see as well. Don't put links though, guys, because as you all know, YouTube always filters links and you will get marked as spam. So I'll just say, as always, thanks for watching. If you watched the whole video, thank you very much. Watching the whole video always helps me and helps the channel. Also, drop a little like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, guys, for some more recommendations. And don't forget, I'll have Squad, some more of Spaceup Tactics coming up on the channel. And yes, I am working on the next lore video as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.